Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Friday the 13th. No, it's not. It's Friday
it's not.
the 14th of August, so there's nothing to worry about. But it is National Creamsicle Day.
Okay.
Do you like creamsicles?
I don't know.
Well, we'll have to find out today. And it's National VJ Day today. Those are the only two things that are happening today.
Okay.
So, but that's a big one. Also, I do have a guest joining me here in a moment. Let me get my information in front of me so I make sure I know who I'm talking to. Comedian extraordinaire, Pat McGann. And very, very funny guy. He's got a brand new special out, and I'm super excited to chat with him about this. And I got to do a little super snooping and listen to some of his stuff, like a little sneak preview of some of it while I'm getting ready. Very funny guy.
All right.
Great sense of humor. So going to be chatting with Mr. Pat McGann coming up in just a bit for a comedy call on the John and Heidi Show.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A survey finds that rising grocery prices are making it harder for unemployed people to make ends meet. So that's not good. So they say grocery prices are going up. Here's the thing that's really interesting is...
Unemployed people making more money right now than they were making when they were employed, most of them?
Not everybody, but some. Yeah, some people are. So, I don't know. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all the details.
I would say that headline should have been, it's making it harder for everyone to make ends meet.
That's true. Well, I've got a link to the story if you want to reach out to them and tell them to correct their headline. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A Lyft driver in Florida was the target of an unprovoked attack early Sunday by a male passenger who tore down a plastic partition and began throttling the victim while the vehicle was still in motion, like choking them. The attack, which was recorded by a dash cam, resulted in the arrest of 36-year-old Travis Smith on battery and child abuse charges. The second was filed against Smith since a 7-year-old boy was a passenger in the car at the time. It says here they asked the driver about the partition, which was intended to provide some protection between the driver, a 47-year-old, and the passengers. As they were traveling towards the home, he suddenly tore down the plastic and put the driver in a chokehold. Not exactly sure why he did this, other than I think this explains it all. It says here the passenger was, quote, highly intoxicated. So, yeah. I
don't know if that's a job I could do.
Do it like driving for Lyft or Uber or one of those? Yeah.
Because you just never know who's getting in the vehicle.
A lot of strangers getting in your car. Even driving a taxi or a cab or a limo or whatever. I don't know. Not for me. But this is a terrible idea. Don't do that. That is what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. A brand new streaming service from HBO. It's called HBO Max. They say, what do you think is the number one performing show on the platform thus far?
I couldn't even tell you what shows are on the platform at all.
Would you be surprised if I told you Friends was the number one show performing on the platform?
Oh, I wouldn't have known they were carrying that.
Followed closely by the Anna Kendrick original series Love Life. So 2 completely different programs right there. Anyway, it's only been around for 2 months. HBO Max. There's a lot of these things out there now.
Yeah.
A lot of streaming services. There's one from NBC called Peacock. There's the one that we usually watch is Netflix, but there's so many of them.
Yeah,
we have a thing also that's like a lot of free channels on there called Pluto. I was clicking through that the other day. There's just a lot of interesting stuff out there. Also, Last year, HBO, by the way, earned a record 137 Emmy nominations, the most for a single year. On Tuesday, though, Netflix easily topped that with 160 total nominations. So last Tuesday versus 107 for HBO. Netflix earned nominations of 10 of the 11 major categories this year. Only the second time in the last 21 years that HBO was not number one among all networks. So now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Are you buying more than you need at the grocery store? Many of us are, according to this survey. A lot of fruit goes to waste.
Yep.
The average American throws away $520 worth of fruit per year.
Yikes.
Quick math, Heidi. How much is that per week?
I don't know, John. How much is
$10. 52 weeks in a year. $520 in a year.
So for us, it's veggies.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've been trying really, really hard to make sure that I eat like all the lettuce. For a while there, we were buying too much lettuce and then we were throwing it away. So there was one day I had a giant bowl, like a serving bowl.
I came walking in, I'm like, that is not a
full of lettuce.
Salad.
Not a sensible salad. I'm like, this is the big salad. I ordered the big salad. Leave me alone. You should go have a seat now. New data reveals the average U.S. car is 11.9 years old. So that would be, what year is it right now? 2020.
2020.
I had to think for a second. That would mean the average car is a 2009. Guess what year my car is, Heidi?
What?
2006.
I was going to say, I don't think it's a 2009.
No, you were supposed to guess that.
Mine's a 2012.
You are so above average, and I'm so below average.
Yeah. We are uptown.
Yes, we are. Fancy. But it's funny, I saw a meme. Somebody said when they were driving their car and somebody was like nudging into their lane, they said, "You're driving a $40,000 brand new car. My car's worth $800. Let's do this."
Yep, I will take you out.
There are a couple of times that I have felt that way in the last week. I almost got run off the road yesterday. I'm like, what was that all about? Budweiser is launching their first ever alcohol-free 50-calorie beer. It's called Bud Zero. They say it will taste very similar to their alcoholic version. One serving has 0 grams of sugar. This is targeting health-conscious drinkers that crave the taste of beer, but they don't want to deal with a hangover.
Okay.
So, no alcohol in it, and it's got 0 grams of sugar, which is good. Only 50 calories total.
Huh.
So it's called Bud Zero. I don't know where you'll find that. Probably still at the places you find Bud, wouldn't you think? Even if it doesn't have booze in it?
I would assume that it's in a non-alcoholic section.
Probably. Study finds that climbing a tree is good for your brain. What? I don't
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how that study came together right there. And when traveling by car with non-family members to be safer from COVID, scientists say you should do these 2 things. Number 1, make sure the air recycler is turned off. You want fresh air coming in, not recycling the air that's in your vehicle.
Okay.
And then 2, open some windows. A steady stream of fresh air can help dilute any particles that might be present in your vehicle. So there you go. Little tip from the CDC. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for a comedy call with very, very funny comedian Pat McGann. And Pat has a new comedy special that's coming out. And Pat, you got to be pretty excited. This is being produced by Sebastian Maniscalco. It's got to be fun to work with him.
Yeah,
Now,
it's nice to have this special out. You can tell we named it before the pandemic. When's Mom going to be home? Because now it's like, when's Mom not going to be home? When's Dad not going to be home?
So when did you produce this? Was this recorded like a year ago, or how long does it take to put a comedy special together?
We shot it last fall in Chicago, which is where I live, and it took a little bit as we were pitching it, and then we got slowed down a little bit when things got crazy in March. So ended up being it's kind of an odd time to be like, hey, check out my comedy special.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's also a good time in the fact that this is, I think, an escape for people.
Absolutely.
It's fresh content, and I'm hoping that people will enjoy it.
Well, and we've, for years we've done these things called comedy calls where we're calling to talk to comedians, but I've done more lately, and I even had somebody say, it seems like you're doing more of those lately. Well, here's why. I think now more than ever, people need to smile, people need to laugh, and people need that, like you just said, that escape for them to kind of go somewhere else for just a little bit and not think about the things, the heavy things that are happening in the world. So I think the timing is perfect.
Yeah, and I'm trying to bring that to everyone. Even still now, people are like kind of putting pressure on me. Like, you being creative? You still writing a lot of content? Like, yeah, I got a bunch of new stuff. I got a new bit about crying in my basement and drinking until the pain goes away.
I think a lot of people relate to that one.
It's my newer relatable bit. Super relatable.
So with the stuff that's going on, are you doing a tour right now? Are there places that are even doing comedy, or is that kind of all on hold for now?
You know what? Most of it is on hold. There are some places that are doing limited capacity. There's been some outdoor shows, some drive-in shows that people are doing. I haven't done any of that. I'm doing some virtual stuff. I've done some corporate gigs, but I'm not actively touring. Most of my club dates have been canceled.
Well, we're excited for things to get back to normal in that world because, boy, oh boy, again, I think that's one of those things where people need that outlet. But for now, they can sit in the comfort of their own home and they can have the beverage and snack of their choice, and they can watch you on their television. How do they find your new special, When's Mom Gonna Be Home? It's
everywhere. It's on Amazon, Apple TV, YouTube. I always tell people just search it and you'll find it. Amazon is, we should be supporting them right now. I know they're really struggling these days. So, no, but you can, if you're a kid, you can stream it anywhere. My kids stream on any device. Yeah. My son was watching it on the toaster the other day.
That's the thing. It up. Anytime I have troubles with some sort of electronics, I'm just like, is there a 12-year-old around? Somebody can help me with that. I don't need tech support. This is I had a chance to watch a little bit of it here, and I'm excited to watch the whole thing. I wanted to watch some of it before we talk, but then I'll watch the rest when we're done. And again, I encourage people to check it out. Pat McGann, When's Mom Gonna Be Home? It's streaming now, like he had mentioned, on Amazon. I'll throw a link to that to make it really, really easy to find that. But then, do you have any other fun projects you're working on right now, other than the drinking in the basement thing?
I do a podcast, and we put it out. We have been putting it out twice a week, but now we're going back to once a week. It's called All Over the Place.
Nice.
And it's just a random conversation I have every week with another comic. His name's Jim Flanagan, and it's a lot of fun. Another one of those, hey, if you want to take a break from the madness, I mean, we just we always have a good time, and I think that we are cracking some people up during these days and getting good feedback on the podcast, so that's been fun.
That is fantastic. Do you have another special in mind, or are you kind of working on that, or not quite yet?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I already started, trying to get new material together. It's rough not being able to work this stuff out on stage and kind of, build that next act, build the next hour. So I'm looking forward to it all coming back and being able to do that, but certainly want to keep pushing new stuff out.
Well, we're excited to get folks out there to put their eyes on this one. When's Mom Gonna Be Home by Pat McGann. And Pat, thank you for taking the time to chat with us. We appreciate it a bunch.
I appreciate it, John. Thanks so much.
Again, Pat McGann, When's Mom Gonna Be Home? That's the special. It's out right now. I'll throw a link to everything, and I'll even put like a free Amazon Prime membership link because I've got one of those. So if you don't have Amazon, you'll be able to use that and watch it for free. All of that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Only female mosquitoes will bite you.
Really?
Yeah. So if you've ever gotten stung by a mosquito, it was not a male mosquito. It was a female
What do
mosquito.
male mosquitoes eat?
I don't know. I don't think female mosquitoes eat people.
But they suck the blood to eat, don't they?
I don't
Isn't
know
that how
what
they
do.
eat?
I have no idea. I think they might order Little Caesars, but I'm not really sure. Honestly, I don't know what. A Google search is probably in order now. I'm going to have to check and see. But no, female mosquitoes are the only ones that will bite you.
Well, that's interesting.
Now we know. Thanks
Now
for
I
listening.
gotta look up what male mosquitoes do.
You should Google that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline, Russia. A man in Russia survived an accidental shooting. He shot himself in the chest.
Oh my gosh.
With a nail gun.
Oh, I think I read
Yeah,
this.
he was nailing down floorboards in his bathroom when he tripped and fell and fired a 2-inch steel tack right into his chest, barely missing his heart.
Could you imagine how painful that would be and how terrifying that would be?
That would be very scary. I have a friend who nailed himself through the hand with a giant framing air nailer. Like it was malfunctioning and it was like skipping. Anyway, he was holding a board like a top rail when they were nailing this wall together, and it skipped and it nailed right through his hand. And he actually cut the board and he went to the hospital with a little piece of a 2x4 stuck to his hand. So, yeah, that's a man right there. Crazy man. Thanks,
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Florida man went for a 9-mile ride down a busy highway, but not in the usual fashion. He was on the hood of a semi. South Florida Sun Sentinel reports an unidentified man climbed onto the hood of a stopped vehicle along the Florida Turnpike, walking out onto the highway. That's when the tractor-trailer driver decided, I'm going to keep going. You want to ride along? That's fine. So he continued down the road as the man clung to the hood, began pounding on the windshield with his fists and then his forehead. Eventually, a trooper stopped the
Jeepers.
semi and took the man into custody. He was committed for a 72-hour mental health evaluation under the state's Baker Act. No serious injuries reported.
Yeah, I would hope so.
So, yeah, the driver was like, I have no idea what his problem is. He wouldn't get off. I have to keep going. You want to ride up there? I'll give you a ride.
Right.
Whatever. So there's a link to that story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A 54-year-old woman who recently had a liver transplant was assaulted at a Staples store in New Jersey after asking the assailant to wear a mask. It says here the incident was caught on surveillance video, happened before 3:30 p.m., Hackensack, New Jersey. I just like saying Hackensack. That's a fun name to say. Victim was using a fax copy machine when another woman approached her to use a nearby machine with her own mask pulled down below her mouth. The victim told her, please wear the mask, and that's when the suspect became angry and started yelling. She approached the victim, who raised her cane and pointed directly at the suspect, coming within inches of her chest. The suspect then grabbed the victim and violently threw her to the ground and then left the store. The victim was transported to a medical center with a broken leg. No arrests have been made yet. Everybody needs to calm down.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just, I'm done. I'm not going to, where do you even go?
Go there.
I'm just going to stay off my soapbox and say, everybody take a deep breath. And
Just calm down.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for Fake News or Florida. This is where I read a headline, and Heidi, that's my beautiful bride that's sitting over here, she has to tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? I want to also say thank you for playing along at home. For those of you who do play along at home, we appreciate that. And huge thank you to the people who send in stories. If you find a story, like a fun Florida story, or if you want to make up a funny Florida headline, I'll tell you how to do that in a second. But now, let's see if Heidi can sniff out the truth.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Fake news or Florida? Naples, Florida is hosting the first annual Karen Fest next month. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news.
And it is fake news. Good job. I thought for sure you were going to think that was true.
What would you do at a Karen Fest?
I have no idea, but somebody would ask to see
A
the
bunch
manager.
of complaint boxes for random businesses.
And I got to
from town?
say, I feel really bad for people named Karen. And did you know that the male version of that is Darren? I didn't know that.
No, I'm not.
I
heard
had somebody
that.
say, "Okay, Darren," and I was like, "What? My name's not Darren." They go, "No, it's like a male Karen."
Yeah, I hadn't
Like it
heard
is?
that.
I didn't know
No,
that.
That's lame.
So yeah, I didn't realize that. So
I haven't heard that.
Whatever, Darren.
I don't even know any Darrens.
I do, and they're good
Do
folks.
you?
And I know Karens that are good folks. So leave them all
Well,
alone.
most of the Karens I know are
Would
little.
you just stop? That's that one person.
No. There are several.
Are there really?
Yes.
Wow. So if your name is Karen and you know Heidi, you are on the list. Thanks for listening.
I know one that's good.
Sure you
All
do.
of you who know me can try to figure out if it's you that I'm talking about.
All right, this has been Fake News or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. And this is just a really cool story. I've got several of them. I'm going to do this one right here because,
Okay.
again, so many good stories. But here's the headline from the Philippines, by the way. Police officers buy all of a little girl's vegetables. So this is our good news. And it says police officers in the Philippines being praised for their act of kindness to a young girl who was selling vegetables to make ends meet.
Oh.
Members of the police station there in the Philippines saw a little girl sitting right on the edge of a road trying to sell string beans. She was there by herself.
Oh.
Roland Garbo said in a Facebook post, she watched the officers come up to the girl, they talked to her for a little bit, and then they bought all of her vegetables. They said they were looking out for her safety. They even drove her back to her home. She's just a little itty-bitty kid. I don't know how old she is. Did I say in the story? Because I'm scrolling and it's getting frozen.
No,
on here.
you didn't say how old.
So-
You said a little girl's vegetables.
Now, I'm looking to see if there's an age. It doesn't say her age in here, but I would guess her 6, maybe.
Wow.
Little itty-bitty thing. Sitting on a piece of cardboard on the side of the road with a bunch of string beans.
My gosh,
And
that
they
just
stopped.
breaks your heart.
And they said, tell you what, we'll just buy all of them. Now let's take you home. And that was really, really nice of them. So I've got a link to the story if you'd like to read it. It is in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.